Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vedanta Diddipa means the proclamation according to Vedanta. When some proclamation is made, it is the last word. There is no further thing that can be added to it. Like we proclaim Goa as a liquor-free state. This is just an example. It cannot be. So, when proclamation is made, this is the last word. So what is the last word in Vedanta? This is the topic. See? You will come to know when we study through that there are two things. One is science and second thing is technology. So, science is, what are the basics? The law of gravity, please sit down. The law of gravity or various principles of nature, these are the basic things. Now simply knowing that is not enough. It has to be applied. See? For example, the same thing, law of gravity, it is applied on the basis of which all the vehicles are developed. How the aeroplanes fly, how the trains run, how the cars run, how the speed is maintained. It is based on that basic fact about the law of gravity. So, law of gravity is a science, basic science, and the application technology is applied so that we can be benefited. If this is clear, in the same manner, there are certain basics, science about life. And there is nothing that you can add or change in it. We cannot change the gravity. We can make a movie on gravity, but we can't change. It will remain as it is. In the same manner, what is told here is the science. Now, what is required is, when we study Vedanta, like most of the students study, but when it comes to application of that knowledge in one's life, it is here we fail. Then what happens? Then this knowledge becomes a burden. See? I have got doctorate in physics, I have done this thing, I have done that thing, but they are not giving me any opportunity to work, complain. Similarly, we study Vedanta, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, but we complain, oh, this world is like that, they should do like this. No. It must be applied on oneself. Therefore, what are the principles? There are totally 94 verses, and we will not be able to complete it in one session. So we may take it next year also. So I will go little speedy so that we are able to cover maximum topic without compromise in explanation, understanding and application. Vedanta dindimas tattvam ekam udghoshayanti yat astam purastat tat tejo dakshinamurti sajnikam. There is one reality which is declared by the Vedanta Shastra, that the truth is one. Tattva means what? Tattva means that which is not subject to any modification. Tattva means that which doesn't have any shape. See? Tattva means that which can be expanded without undergoing any modification. Like Gold is the tattva behind all the ornaments. So when the gold becomes Rama, gold doesn't become holy, and when gold becomes Ravana, gold doesn't become unholy. And when both the Rama and Ravana, when they are melted, nothing is lost. Gold continues to be. Because even when it was recast as Ram or Ravan, it was gold only. This is the principle, tattva. Now, Astam Purastad. So this is at the Purastad means it is the source of everything in this world. Before this or beyond this, there is nothing. See? So, we begin from this point. The truth is one. Now, when it is said one, there are two types of ones. One type of one is the one which can be divided by two, which can be multiplied by two. So, 1 multiplied by 2 is equal to 2. 1 multiplied by 3 is equal to 3. 1 divided by 2 is equal to 0.5. But there is another one which neither can be multiplied nor can be divided, and that is infinite. Infinite is also one. So you cannot add anything to the infinite, nor you can subtract anything from the infinite. Neither you can multiply nor divide. So we are talking about this one, the absolute one. Now one more principle. In the absolute, relative is only imagined. It doesn't exist. It can be imagined. Because infinite cannot be divided into parts. Like, earlier 1 rupee used to have 64 paisa. Those who know, oldie like me, earlier there used to be 64 paisa. Then they became 100. See? So we are only projecting, imagining that 1 is divided into 64 or 1 is divided into 100 according to metric system. Similarly, space is 1, infinite. You can't divide the space. But we can always imagine. So we take the relationship of the sun and the earth and say that where the sun rises is called as the east. Once the east is imagined, then the relative comes into existence, east, west, north, south, etc. But are they real? No, they are space only. Therefore, the rule or the principle is, there is one infinite absolute existence which is not subject to any modification, and there is nothing that you can do about it. It is like this. And that we call as Dakshinamurti, because when you want to indicate something, you have to have a label. See? Like PDF. Now these words were not there earlier in the Oxford Dictionary. The PDF has come, the MPG has come. Where from? SMS. See? So, these reality is one without a second. First principle was told. Now this principle is called as Dakshinamurti for our understanding. Now, Atma Anatma Padarthaudvau Bhoktur Bhogyatva Lakshanau Brahmaivatmana Dehadi Iti Vedanta Dindimaha. Now the second observation. Before we go further, I'll tell you something very important. Vedanta can be practiced in life if we learn from our experiences day to day. Nothing more. Nothing is imposed on us. No, you have to accept it. If you don't accept it, you'll go to hell. No. Vedanta will never send you to hell. See, it will not send you to any bad place. Because the truth is very clearly explained through our own experiences. It is something like this. When we touch the fire, our hand gets burned. Do we have to believe it? Don't have to believe it. It is. Can you change it? You can't change it. In the same manner, this is the ultimate truth. So what is that? First principle. In every experience, there are two components. The experiencer and the experienced. Experiencer is called as Atma, and experienced is called as not Atma, Anatma. So, these are the two padartha. Now, padartha, this is another technical word. Pada means word. Artha means what is indicated by that word. Like book, B-O-O-K, is a word. What is in my hand is the meaning of the word book. So it is not a nonsense sound. But while talking, suppose in between I do then suddenly you will feel, what is wrong with this fellow? So far he was talking okay, suddenly this nonsense, no meaning. In the same manner, padartha means it is a meaningful sound. It is not just anything. So there are two words with the meaning. One is Atma, second is Anatma. So what is, and bhoktru bhogyatva lakshanam. And Atma, the self, is the experiencer, and the Anatma is the experienced. Now see the clarity? Our whole life is defined in these two simple words. There is I versus not I. I is the enjoyer and not I is the enjoyed. When we are eating ice cream doesn't enjoy, we enjoy ice cream. See? So, after having told this analysis of our experience, the teacher says, Brahmaivatmana dehadi. Now the question comes, if there are so many bodies, so many experiencers, so there are many experiencers. They say, no. Experiencer is one. They appear to be many, but they are not many. And this experiencer is the absolute reality which is indicated in the first verse. That absolute existence is the experiencer of the total world, going through and expressing through all the bodies. See? So, Brahmaivatmana dehadi. So the Atma is not the body, but it is the self who is expressing through the body. Now to understand, take this regular example of our electricity. Electricity is common in and through all the gadgets in the whole world. There are not many types of electricity. Energy is one. And this electricity or energy doesn't have any shape, any form, any color, any smell, any taste. Tattva is that which is without all these things. Now this electricity alone is expressing through various bulbs. So in the tube light we don't say electricity is tubular. In the bulb we don't say electricity is global. In the fan we don't say electricity is constantly moving. No. These are the expressions of electricity, not electricity. Therefore, Brahmaivatma. So, electricity is the Brahman, the Atma, the self of all the gadgets in the world. In the same manner, we are all the gadgets fixed on this absolute reality called as the Brahman. And through us, the Paramatma is expressing. See. Now to understand this principle, let us analyze our day-to-day experiences. When a student goes to the medical college, he doesn't study the anatomy of every body. One dead body is taken and there they study. These are the various bones, these are the positions, etc. So when he has to perform the operation after having become a surgeon, he won't say, hey, bring the dead body, I'll find out whether the same things are here or not. No, it is same. It is not different. Bodies may be different, but the principle of anatomy is common. Bodies may be different, the principle of vision is common. Bodies are different, but the principle of digestion, metabolism are common. They are not different. Therefore, when we thus go from the differences to that which has undergone differentiation as if, then we are practicing Vedanta in life. Now take for example, somebody becomes angry with us. So, if we get influenced by that anger, our personality is different. But if we are able to understand that this person is getting angry, and who doesn't become angry? Sometimes I also became angry, so it's okay, let's tolerate, never mind. Your reason above. Otherwise, I versus you. How you do this thing, I'll teach you the lesson, how the samsara begins. Therefore, the real spiritual practice according to Vedanta is, don't get lost in the conditionings called as the body, etc. So, Brahmahi Vatmana Dehadi iti Vedanta Dindimaha. So you will see every shloka will bring us back to ourselves. Like those who are influenced by the Vastu or the Feng Shui, they are all the time talking about the directions, north, east, west, south, etc. But are these directions anything other than the space? But when our attention is only on that, we will never think beyond that directions. In the same manner, when our attention is on the worldly things, we can never think about the divinity that we are. Be attentive. When our attention is on the body, we will never go beyond the body. When our attention is on the prana, we will be thinking only about eating, eating, eating. When our attention is on the mind, we will be all the time talking about joy and sorrows. When attention is on the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the principle of I, we always talk about arrogantly, I have done this thing, I have done this. See? And these are the places where we get lost. So the teacher says, Na dehadi, we are not the body, etc. Now once we listen these principles, now try to apply one by one. That is the meaning of spiritual sadhana according to Vedanta. Not going out and ringing the bell, no. That is necessary, but that is not the ultimate. So how do we apply this? Now start working. I cannot be the body. In recently Bombay, one person came. He said, Swamiji, what you are telling, I know everything. But the problem is, how do I live that I am not the body? See? You please tell me how to live. I said, look here, I'll tell you a story. You must have seen your children when they are born, they don't know how to walk. They discover and practice their own techniques. So the child first starts walking in the air, on the back, and walks in the air. He doesn't move forward. He doesn't give up. Then he turns. Then he starts crawling. Then he becomes a reptile. Then he comes on the knees. Has any child ever asked the mother, Mummy, when you were a baby, how did you learn walking? Please guide me. No. He or she develops his or her own technique, is it not? Those who ask questions about spirituality, they are lazy. You find out. See? The reason is we are not convinced. Conviction is different. And information is different. No, please tell me. I said, I'll give you one small hint and rest you try. When you are not this mic, you are convinced, yes. So if some heavy thing is hanging on this mic, will that burden come on you? How simple it is. In the same manner, anything in relation to the body will stop bothering you. What is our life? Living as the body, for the body, on everybody. Whole life is spent only living as the body, 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 body. Second thing, only with reference to body alone, we have possessions in life. In the deep sleep, when we are not identified with the body, what is our possession? Nothing. See? Therefore, what is the spiritual practice to live beyond the body? Don't waste your time and energy in collecting the things around you. Lesser the choice, lesser the possessions, travel light in life. Like, when I go to various countries live going, I don't have huge suitcases like NRI brand suitcases. They have got 2 or 3 huge suitcases and the whole world is into that. One bag is enough. Lesser the choice, nearer you are to the reality. So to live as not body, possessions will not be the criteria of your life, number one. Second thing, after the body identification alone, the second generation, the 2G scam begins. The 2G scam is, I am mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife. And these guys are miserable who do not exist. In the deep sleep, where is the mother, where is the father, where is the husband, where is the wife? They are nowhere. Because they were nowhere. Work on this. And in this manner, we will be, by constant reflection, be convinced that this body I cannot be. Then we will start working through the body. We will stop working as the body. Then we will use the body for something higher. But normally what we see, that Maharaji, please bless me. Now what is the blessing that is given? May you live long. For what? Suffering. See, simply having a good car cannot be the goal of life. See? I want to have a good car. Okay, you have it. What next? Where you have to go? Nowhere. Then why did you carry that burden? See, friends, in this manner, when we start reflecting, then we are practicing Vedanta. Brahmaivatmana dehadi. And we have to find out ourselves. If you go further, we come to know our body we have not created, our body doesn't listen to us. So we have taken somebody else's property by encroachment. And therefore we are subject to all punishments. So Brahmaivatmana lehadi iti Vedanta dindimaha. Now in all what I said, do you have to believe it? It is like this. Okay? This is a blue color. Please believe. No, it is. If I call the blue as green, then I will have to struggle to tell you, no, please, it is a green, man. I think there is something wrong with your eyes. In our language it is called as green. In your language it may be called as, you will go on struggling. Exactly the same way, this truth which is indicated is as it is. Now, jnana jnana padarthau dvau atmano bandhamukti dau jnana mukti nibandhonyat iti Vedanta dindimaha. Jnana ajnana, knowledge and ignorance are the two words, padarthau dvau. And they are responsible for creating bondage and liberation for the being, for ourselves. What are these two? Jnanat Mukti. When we come to know correctly, we are liberated. Liberation is only from the wrong notions. Be very attentive. We are all carrying the burden of wrong notions. And these wrong notions create chaos in our life. See, wrong notions we have created. I'll tell you about this one story which I saw in a movie many years before. There was one child, and the Hindu-Muslim riots were there. So the Hindus came and killed so many Muslim people, and there was a small baby. And that baby was taken by one Hindu lady, seeing that, oh, small child, so she held it. So the people thought that is her baby, she was spared. And that baby didn't know, nobody knew. And when it happened after 15 years or 20 years again, so this boy, he took the dagger and the sword to go and kill the Muslims. That time that old lady tells, I'll tell you something today. You have been brought up by me, but you are not my son. Then she tells, this is what happened. So you are, by birth you are a Muslim, born to Muslim parents. Now you want to go and kill them. Go and kill. The moment information changes, everything changes. Exactly the same way. When we know the truth, our life will be freedom from the wrong notions. His notion was, I am a Hindu, I have to kill Muslims. Or I am a Muslim, I have to kill Hindus. We are basically, these are only labels. They are not the truth. See, friends, therefore, Jnanat Muktihi, when we come to understand clearly these four things, friends, Vedanta will not give you anything. If we have this notion that if I go, I will get, freedom from the back pain, or my wife will start listening to me, or my business will grow, if this is the idea, you have come to a wrong place. Study of Vedanta is like going to a gym. Can a person with a fractured leg and a collar in his neck and a hand in the sling go to the gym? He cannot. Then where should you go? Go to the hospital. Exactly the same way. When you have lived your life, everything is fine, but now there is a big emptiness, and emptiness is, there is no fulfillment in life. See, in old days, this is the biggest problem. Swamiji, everything is fine, but the mind is not at peace. We are worried unnecessarily. We know this is wrong, but we are worried. This kind, a cul-de-sac we come to, and then the problem comes. Therefore, those who have gone through the life, learnt the lessons, for them Vedanta is meant. So, Jnanat Muktihi. Then what is the liberation? Liberation will be our earlier notion, I am the body, this notion will disappear. Then the second notion, I am the soul, Jiva, one soul per body, that notion will disappear. See, many places you must have heard this. You attain immortality. Now the meaning is so different, and what people understand is different. Attainment of immortality means death is an impossibility. Nobody dies. See, when the body dies, what happens? 5 elements go back to 5 elements. Who has died? See? Like, the garlands which are made. We may praise the garland, but is it a real thing? When you cut the thread and separate all the flowers and the thread put together in a basket, what has died? Nothing. Everything is there. So it is only integration of the flowers through the thread is called as a garland. When it is cut, the garland disappears. Where it has gone? See. If the garland is made out of the flowers, when it is broken, it doesn't become stone, it continues to be garland. Same way, the 5 elements have gone into the formation of the body, they go back. Body doesn't die. The second thing, the soul, when we talk about last life, this life, next life, when did we die? When were we born? And the absolute self, there is no question of death at all. Therefore, attainment of immortality means the discovery that never we died, never shall we die. We are immortal, we are eternal. That is the meaning of attainment of immortality. But we are so obsessed with this name and form, we make our own statue, like in UP. That is what is called as the play of Maya. And then we make our own statue like Mayavati did, and then we cut our own ribbon and we do our own arati. Can there be less foolishness than this anywhere in the world? Height, because the body I am. So, Jnanat Mukti, all that is required is to remove the wrong notions. We all carry only wrong notion. First wrong notion is about ourselves, who we are. Second wrong notion is about the world. What we think the world is troubling us is not the world. One young boy went to God and said, "Oh God, girls you have created, they are so sweet, so enchanting, so beautiful, so lovely. We want their company. But why the wives are so terrible?" So God said, "My dear child, girls I have created, wives you have created. Wife is your creation, not my creation." See, we are not miserable because of the children. We are miserable because of my child. And what really belongs to us in this world? Find out. So, our notions about ourselves are binding us. Our notion about ourselves, about the world, is creating problem for us. Our notion about God is pushing the God away from us. And our notions about spiritual practice is binding us in fear. See? Like I do not practice Ekadashi. Now those who practice continue, nothing wrong in that. So one day somebody was observing me taking food. So I said, "Hey, come, I'll give you prasad." And I took a little bit of rice and fed that lady. So she ate it. After that was over, she came and crying, "Swamiji, what you have done today?" I said, "What happened?" "Today I ate rice and today is Ekadashi. Now what will happen?" I said, "Nothing will happen. You will go to hell." We live more in fear. Living in fear is not spiritual life. Constantly under the pressure. I have not gone. Today is Monday and I had forgotten to do the japa. I thought today is Tuesday and I did Hanumanji japa. Shivji japa I did not do. What should we happen? Nothing is going to happen. When you do the japa, nothing happens. When you don't do, what is going to happen? See, friend, that is not spirituality. You see, people who are doing upasana, they are more fearful than anybody. See? Because upasana is not done with love, with dedication, but with a demand. If you do this thing, you will get this thing. You see, read all the stotras. At the end of that stotra, the Phalashruti is given. See, if you do this thing, you will go to the Vaikuntha, this thing happen, that thing will happen. So it is a kind of a bargain. Invest, you will get this much in return. That is not spirituality. So these wrong notions, 4 of them, about our identity, about the world, about God, and about the spiritual practice. When these wrong notions are removed, jnanat mukti, nibbidho nyat. And if we do not remove our wrong notions, you may keep on doing anything. You will continue to suffer throughout life. That is why you see, there are many people who are associated with so-called Vedanta for so many years and yet frustrated. One old man once told me, Swami, last few days I am having a fear about death. I said, that time I was young. I said, Kaka, he was a Gujarati. I said, Kaka, you told me once that you are studying Vedanta when even I was not born. So many years. Yes, I told you. I said, what you have learned from Vedanta? If you have studied Vedanta, the thought of your death will not even pass through your mind. If the thought of death passes through the mind, we have not studied anything, we have not practiced anything. See, better than us are those jihadis. They have commitment. They have got thing, after I die here, I will go in the heaven, there will be 27 beautiful girls waiting with a garland for me. See? Their faith in that is more than our faith in God. See, friends, Jnatru jneya padartho do bhasya bhasaka lakshano jnata brahma jagas jneyam iti vedanta dindimaha. There are 2 words, Jnatru and Jneya. The knower and the known. The knower is the illuminator and the known is illumined. And the knower is Jnata Brahma, the knower is the Brahman, the reality, and Neyam Jagat. And what is known is the Jagat which is constantly changing. Now these are the principles. So, Jnatru Jneya, I am the knower, the book is the known, Jnatrudneya. Then Bhasya Bhasaka Lakshana, I can know the book, book cannot know me. I am the knower, I am the illuminator of the book, book will not know in whose hand it is. Thereafter, Jnata Brahma, I am this eternal reality, the knower, the pure consciousness. Neyam Jagat, that which is constantly changing is the world of objective existence. Iti Vedanta Dindiva. Now this is the principle told. Now let us apply this principle in our life. Then you will come to know what is the meaning of Jagat. One sweet little girl asked me this question. Swamiji, when the world is created and where from the world begins? So, such a sweet, cute girl, like our Mahesh's small one. So I said, hey, you are so intelligent. Who asked you to ask this question? Mummy. Then I told her mother, why didn't you ask me directly? Swamiji, I am afraid of you. I said, I am a vegetarian, I don't eat people. Then I told, look here, the world begins from our gross body. That is not the world. World begins from our body. And when the world is created, the moment we are identified with the body, the world is created. Just observe your own experience. In the deep sleep, where are we? I keep on changing the places, and therefore I sleep with the lights on. Because I don't know where I had to go, which direction I had to go. Last night when I got up for going to bathroom, I opened the door and I came out in the big hall. I said, where is the bathroom? This is not the bathroom. See? Because before that I was somewhere else. So at night, where are you? And what are you? Mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, man, woman, young, old, beautiful, awful? Nothing. So where from this world begins? The world begins from our body, identification, and the world is born the moment we are identified with the body. See? Therefore, what should be the spiritual practice? Only two things, not third, only two. All that because of which we can attain freedom from body identification, and all that because of which we can attain freedom from the notion that we are a soul. If this happens, we are on the right track. All other things are only supporting, they are not the ultimate. See? Like, you have put on the shoes properly, proper dress, and that is all required. But basically you must know how to run fast. If you have got only the makeup of a runner and you can't run, what is the use of that? In the same manner, we have got a makeup. Here there is the fullstop.com and various kinds of malas. It is not going to help anywhere. Therefore, Jnata Brahma Jagasneyam, all that is constantly changing is the world. So, what is constantly changing? Now be attentive. These things we have to discover, nobody can give us. Has anybody ever filed an FIR? Where is my baby body? Our body, when it was born, it was a small one. Where it has gone? Then the teenage body, hi-fi brand. Where that body has gone? Then the middle-aged body. Has anybody ever complained or felt bad? That poor body was so good, I don't know where it has gone. If we are not bothered about the earlier three bodies, where they are gone, why worry about the old body? Think. It is not logic. It is converting the information into conviction. But we hold on to the body. And how we hold on to the body? There is only one technique. We keep on talking about our past. Past belongs to the body, not to you. Body was baby, not you. The body was teenage, not you. So body has been changing. So here the teacher says that the world is constantly Jnata Brahma Jagasneyam. So all that is known is the world, and all that is known is constantly changing. That is why old people cut a pathetic joke. All old people. They say, can you guess what is my age? And they themselves will say, I am 85 years young. And they feel it is a joke. It is a pathetic joke. 85 years belong to the body. And you are the one who has never experienced that either you are born, or you are growing, or you have become old, or you ever died, or you ever felt your absence. Our own experience we deny. Who can help us? come to this. Iti Vedanta Dindima. That is why I don't entertain question answers. Every question will take you away from yourself. There is only one reality about which we have never any question. And the reality is our own being. Have we ever asked a question whether I am or I am not? No. This eternal, undenied presence. Anything you ask question about, anything, anybody, you go away from yourself. See? Something like, with the eyes, anything you see is other than the eyes. But when you apply the eyes on themselves, the eyes disappear. Only the mind remains. Same way, mind, instead of asking about the world, stop asking. You are back to yourself. Atma Chintan is absence of Anatma Chintan. Stop thinking about the world, you are that. See? Sukha dukkha upadarthau dvau priya vipriya karakau sukham brahma jagad dukkham iti vedanta dindimaha. There are two words, sukha dukkha, joy and sorrows, and joy everybody likes and the miseries nobody likes. And why? Because Sukham Brahma, our essential nature is happiness, bliss, and that is Brahman. Therefore, if we are walking the path of Vedanta, we cannot afford to be miserable under any condition. And that is why, be attentive, all of us, whatever we do or we don't do, is for what? We get married for becoming miserable? No. Nobody thinks of getting married to become miserable. We get married to become happy. Then we get divorced to become happy. Then again we reunite. Pahli theek thi. It's only for happiness, nothing else. There are people who keep on eating, glutton like me, for happiness. Others are observing fast for happiness. See, there was one news from a Jain girl in Jaipur. She observed fast, something like 68 days around that. One day she died. It was only for happiness, nothing else. Oh, such a small girl, and she is observing fast, and that gives happiness. See, friends, in short, all of us are liking happiness. Brahma, Sukham, and Jagad Dukkham. And what is misery? Misery is that which is other than the self. Anything which is other than the self is misery. See? And therefore, when it is other than the self, we can reject. Like if we have got a gangrene to our small finger, to protect the total palm, we cut it. If we have got a gangrene to the hand, palm, then we chop off from somewhere near the elbow so that the hand is protected. So we always sacrifice that which is painful. But that which is a source of happiness, we are seeking. And that is why we go to sleep. The happiness that we have in the sleep is not by getting anything, but by giving up everything. In the deep sleep, we have no property, no relations, no husband, no wife, no achievements, no failure, yet we are happy. The reason is we are that happiness. Therefore, don't seek happiness, discover happiness. And happiness can be discovered only through wisdom. There is no other way. See, how to discover this happiness? One small example I'll give you. There was one boy, small boy. He was chanting 15th chapter of Gita perfectly well. So I said, hey, you have done a very beautiful job. so you deserve a present. So I gave him one chocolate bar which was in my pocket. So he was looking that, thank you Swamiji. I said, eat. He said, no, I won't eat. And he put it in the pocket. I said, either eat or give it back. He said, neither I will eat nor will I give back. Very clear. So why? Why don't you eat? He said, I'll give it to my sister. I said, she will eat, she will enjoy. You won't enjoy. Why don't you eat? Forget about sister. No, I will give it to her. I said, what will you get? Now that small boy could not reply. I don't know. Then he asked me a question. Swamiji, do you have a sister? I said, no. Then you will not understand. See how beautiful it is. What he meant? When I give to my sister, she will be happy and I'll be happy in her happiness. The real happiness is not in possessions. Their happiness is in giving up. And this is what exactly every day we do. When we go to sleep, what we do? We give up everything. All our achievements, failure, friendship, enmity, good, bad, everything is left. To the extent, at the end, I want to sleep, even the I is dropped. Then only sleep begins. See, friends, in this manner, Brahma Sukham Brahma Jagat Dukkham iti Vedanta Dindimaha. So whenever we are miserable, understand we have gone away from ourselves. Many people are very depressed, dejected, frustrated only because they go away from themselves. There is no other reason. And who goes away from themselves? Husband, wife, brother, father, mother, sister, they go away from themselves. See? We cannot go away from ourselves. And these people don't exist. They have no existence. See? When my father died, what happened to me, the son? Nothing. Because without the father I cannot be son. So when the father died, where I, the son, has gone? Nowhere. So these non-existing entities, they are becoming miserable. And they keep on thinking. See, friends, one man with the three conditionings appears to have become three. So I with my father's conditioning is called as the son. I with my wife's conditioning I am called as the husband. The same me with the conditioning of my son I am called as the father. Have I become three? So when my father dies, what happens to me, the son? Nothing. When my wife disappears, what happens to me, the husband? Nothing. And when my son dies, what happens to me, the father? Nothing. Because when these entities do not exist, how anything can happen to them? See, my friends, we are simply carrying the burden of that which doesn't exist. And if I, the man, dies, can the three exist? The more you reflect on these lines, then you will come to know we all have to play different roles. So if I am in front of my father, try to pester him and get more and more money and enjoy. If I am in front of my wife, I should not talk when she is talking, and I should not talk when she is silent. See? And when I am in front of my son, I should see that I avoid paying him money. That's it. Play your role. But then we do the things and we suffer because of that. And these entities have no existence. Therefore, Sukham Brahma Jagat Dukkham iti Vedanta Dindimaha. These miseries are only because of these wrong notions. And that is called as samsara. One young man asked me this question, Swami, you tell all the time, be happy, mauj mein raho. But Lord Buddha said, the world is all misery, sarvam dukkham, sarvam dukkham. So what should we practice? I said, you have got a choice. A glass is filled half with milk. You decide what you want to see. You want to see the empty part of the glass and become miserable, you are welcome. You want to see the half glass filled, gulp it and throw the glass. Choice is yours. See, don't give too much importance to this world. This world has always been like this. There is nothing new. See? The demonetization is making people so miserable because they are going to be the most victims of these wrongdoings. There is no other reason. Therefore, they are becoming so miserable. Earlier also, 5,000, 10,000 rupees notes were cancelled. What happened to that time? Nobody even knew about it. Because hardly anybody had. See, friends. Therefore, this is like that and it will continue like that. There is nothing new. Samashti, Vyashti, Rupau, Dvau, Padarthau, Sarvasammatau, Samashti, Ishvaro, Vyashti, Jivaha, Vedanta Dindimaha. Similarly, the individuality and the totality, these are the two words. The individuality is the Jiva, the soul, the totality is the Ishvara, the creator. See? Samashti, Ishvara, Vyashti, Jivaha. Now understand this very simple way. Only a citizen can be the Prime Minister of the India, of any country. So, every citizen is a jiva, a soul, individuality. And Prime Minister is the Ishvara, the totality. But unless he is a citizen, he cannot be the Prime Minister. Now, when the citizen signs some document, it is not valid internationally. But when the Prime Minister signs a document, it is valid internationally. What is the reason? Both of them are citizens, but in one there is no power of totality. In the citizen, he is only one. But the Prime Minister, he is all. Exactly the same way. When we are lost in the individuality, we are the Jiva. And when we transcend the individuality, we don't think only about I, but I think about the whole nation. See, friends, if you see our Prime Minister, when he was a Chief Minister of Gujarat, he was talking only in terms of Gujarat. Now he has become Prime Minister. Now he doesn't talk only in terms of Gujarat. He talks about in terms of the nation. So as the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he was a Jiva Vyashti. Now as the Prime Minister of India, he is a Samashti, he is Ishvara, the totality. Exactly the same way, the Ishvara and Jiva are simultaneously existing as I. When we are under the influence of the world, we are the Jiva. When we are controlling the world, we are the Ishvara. Now take for example, our sense organs. Are our sense organs enslaving us? If we are the slaves of our sense organs, if we are the slave of our mind, if we are the slave of our intellect, we are the Jiva. But if we can control our sense organs, if we control our mind, If we control our intellect and they function according to our dictate, then we are Ishvara. See? That is why all the yogic practices are only controlling the Prakriti. When the mind is controlled with reference to time, space and object called as Sayyama, such a Sayyamit mind, when it is focused on the esophagus, for example, then one conquers hunger and thirst. So, the Aishwarya, the Siddhis, they are nothing but expression of the Ishwaratva through the Jiva. Therefore, when you merge with the totality, it is Ishvara. When we are lost in the individuality, it is the Jiva. So, Samashti Ishvaro Veshti Jivaha iti Vedanta Dindimaha. Continuing further, Jnanam Karma Padartha Udvau Vastu Kartratma Tantrakau Jnanad Moksho Na Karmabhya iti Vedanta Dindimaha. Jnana and karma, knowledge and activity, they have got two different expressions. Jnana is Vastu Tantra and karma is Kartra Tantra. Now be attentive. Very simple, it's not difficult. This is a book, is a knowledge. You cannot do anything about it. It cannot be called as Rasgulla. It cannot be called as a car, it is a book. Vastu Tantra depends on the object, Vastu. But if you do Gayatri Japa for 24,000 times, you will get Brahma Tej. If you do the Japa. So, I will do it, I will try. Kartra Tantra depends on the doer. Like, I was told while coming that there are many people who get inspired New Year resolution. I will do exercise every day. They join the gym. They pay the fees. Within 15 days, out of the 100 students enrolled, after 15 days, not even 10 remain. All the 90 drop. Because any karma is dependent on the doer and knowledge depends on the object that is known. See the difference? And therefore in knowledge you cannot have corruption. In karma there will be corruption. See, if it is a 500 rupees note, you can't do anything, it is 500 rupees note. But if you do this thing, I'll give you this thing, and then there will be some kind of corruption. Therefore, Jnana is the Vastu Tantra, therefore Jnanad Mokshaha na Karmabhyaha. Now the second important thing. Karma is a grandchild of ignorance. First of all, we have a notion that I am incomplete. Then we have a notion that object or that person is a source of happiness. These notions create a sense of incompleteness, and that creates disturbances in our mind. Those disturbances are called as desire. So, ignorance, desire. Then desire prompts us into activity. Avidya, kama, karma. So, karma is the grandchild of wrong notions. And therefore, it can never be leading us to the absolute self that we are. Therefore, Upanishad says, na karmana na prajaya dhanena. If we have that notion, by karma we will attain something higher, we are going the wrong way. In this manner, be more and more knowledge oriented. Shrotavya shravya rupa udvau padartho sukha dukkhadau shrotavyam brahma naivanyat iti vedanta dindimaha. Shrotavya shravya rupa udvau. What is to be heard and what is not to be heard. These are the two words. All that is to be heard is the giver of joy, and all that is not to be heard is the giver of miseries. So what is to be heard? Shrotavyam Brahma. So when you think, talk, listen about the Absolute, you will ultimately end up in the bliss. But when you hear about the world, you will be disturbed all the time. Therefore, satsanga is the ultimate spiritual practice. And that satsanga where our wrong notions are hammered. We all suffer only because of the wrong notions. The moment the wrong notions are gone, all happiness. We don't have to gain happiness. There was one troublemaker, he told other person, "Hey, I heard your son met with a terrible accident in USA." The moment he heard, this man started crying, frustrated, "Oh God, oh God." So his wife told, "Why don't you call him and find out rather than cry?" Ladies have got more confidence when they grow old. Gents do not have. So he phoned. Here daytime, America midnight. So when the phone went to the son lifted the phone and bang. "Dad, how many times I told you don't call this time?" And bang. "Oh, thank God, he is still there." See? Therefore, when we are lost in these worldly things, any news, you are bound to be miserable. But when you study, listen to, in satsanga, to the reality, the truth, you are bound to be happy. That is what one man asked me this question. "Swamiji, can you give me one answer which I want to give it to my wife?" I said, "What is the problem, Baba?" She said, "I will come for your satsang if you tell me why you go. Don't tell me I like, but why you go, tell me." And I am not able to tell her. I said, "Okay, to increase my customers, I'll tell you." Then I told, I said, "When you come to satsang, here only you are told, you are divine, you are Satchidananda. When you go home, you are told you are dumb, you don't understand anything, you are stupid. And therefore you like to go here. This is good." Iti Vedanta Dindimaha, this knowledge will definitely help us discover our divine nature. Only thing is, we have to practice it on ourselves in an intelligent way, not a dumb way. And that intelligent way, in one word I'll explain, very simple. Take every event of your life as spiritual examination. No other thing. Every event, good or bad. And result should be, your equanimity is not corrupted. Dukkheshu anudvignamanaha, sukheshu vigata spruhaha. When miseries come, refuse to be miserable. And when comforts come, refuse to be enslaved by the comforts. These two things. Then the freedom is maintained. And that freedom is real happiness. Iti Vedanta Dindimaha. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.